But it sounds like at a lot of these companies, people aren't working. Like they're literally.
Hell no. Yeah, corporate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, corporate being adult daycare slash an extended high school, bro. They just find when you stuck in a box looking at computers with people, it just bring you back to the classroom environment, I guess, because they will just find any and everything to somebody got to have some type of beef or drama with someone, bro. You can't just be there and not, you know what I'm saying? Oh yes, I have returned. This is low-key the part two to Polly's other video. You can check it on the vid on the channel. It's about him quitting his job, and now this one is called. Hold on, let me go here. There we go. Yep. I can't go back to a 9 to 5. So quitting that job seems to have been working out for him. If he said he can't go back. It's not going to serve him, obviously. So without me yapping for too much longer, let me just go in and see what Polly talking about.
When I turned on my mic to rant about quitting my job, I did not expect over 100,000 people to be listening. I'm not gonna lie. I had like 80 subs at the.
And at the time that I watched it, like 5 seconds ago, that shit had like, I think it had like over 500, and that's what's up, bro. And that was posted a year ago. It happened to anybody, and he just said he had 80 subs, bro. That's nuts.
Time, but it turns out I struck a chord, and then I'm not alone, and that there's tens of thousands of people who feel the exact same way. And despite there being thousands of comments from people all over the world in all different situations, all different jobs, there was one thing that was obvious. And, it's that this generation, my generation, is not as accepting of this 9 to 5 system as the generations before us. I think we value not feeling like shit. And it kind of gets, labeled as lazy. The boomers really.
I feel like that statement can go both ways, because a lot of people today just seem to be okay with feeling like shit, but then also at the same time, if it's caused by a typical responsibility, then we will neglect it because we're like, yeah, fuck that. We already got enough bad shit going on. We don't need external or extra shit making it worse for sure.
Came out to play in the comments, but I don't think it's a lazy way of thinking. I think it's a self-aware way of thinking. I think most of us are aware we were given a very short life, and they'll call us lazy for not wanting to spend it stuck in a miserable job, or miserable office. And how did this happen, right? Like, how are we the first to acknowledge how crazy this is? And why did my last video speak to so many people? I want to go over the general consensus of the comments on that video. I'm going to be honest here. I tried to read them all. There was an insane amount, so bear with me if I miss yours. I'll get to it eventually. It's not like I have a job, so, and I actually do enjoy reading them and like talking to you guys. So the takeaways from all over, people in all different parts of the world, all different, situations, are the same for the most part, and there's like a ton of value there. So the first one I want to talk about is just the fact that the corporate world is an adult daycare, someone said in the comments, which is like,
bro, that is a crazy ass perspective. An adult daycare, and we be the same ones being like, yo, I'm a grown-ass man, grown-ass woman. I don't, like, you move to the beat of your own drum, basically. But the job is just daycare.
Perfect description.
Or I guess corporate,
it's like
specifically.
an adult version of high school, and you think it's going to be so much different, and then you get there and you're like, what is this, right? So I thought maybe my company was worse than others, but it sounds like at a lot of these companies, people aren't working. Like, they're literally.
Hell no. Yeah, corporate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, corporate being adult daycare slash an extended high school, bro. They just find when you stuck in a box looking at computers with people, it just bring you back to the classroom environment, I guess, because they will just find any and everything to somebody got to have some type of beef or drama with someone, bro. You can't just be there and not, you know what I'm saying?
Not
it's crazy.
doing anything, and
I feel like it's low-key like that to an extent with any like community-based environment. Like, if there's too many people around each other consistently, and it gets like either it has a consistent flow or something gets too regular, somebody got to shake up the normal. Like they gotta move it a little bit, shift the tides, cause a little friction. Because consistent energy, it seems like it's so so bad for people. I don't know what that is.
There's a lot of corporate lingo that gets thrown around to almost create like the impression that things are getting done. Like, let's circle back internally and let's connect on this, or let's set up some time later to talk about this, or let's email back and forth about that for days, as opposed to just figure.
Yeah, the fake ass language that they use too. Like you know somebody want to say F you all the time, but they'll just be like, I just don't really appreciate how you went about that. And then like you said, can we circle back to that? Like, bro, circle these. Oh, let me keep. I'm trying not to cuss that, but
and I think
I'll try to stop saying crazy shit a little
someone's
bit.
got to do something, right? So the work ends up getting pushed on the people that are at the bottom. The people that actually are working hard, and they're not going to be given gratitude at most of these places. Like, the amount of comments that.
Let me try to skip these. Thank you. I need this. I love my job. My boss is treating me like shit. I'm really close to quitting. I've been working really hard for the past few months. Okay. Make you feel like a fucking boy. The only thing I have to say about is that they're going to pay bonuses at the end of February, so I think I'm just going to be quiet until then. Yep. And then you're going to bounce, probably, most likely. Because I did that too. Waited until like we got our bonuses, and I was like, okay, yep, see y'all later. I'm going. So many stresses experience. I make a question about the problem all along, but I realized the reality I do too much. Bro, I had to talk to my girlfriend about that one time. It was like, no matter how much that you stack on, or like, that it seems like you're following the policies, terms and conditions and shit, the moment you might make a minor misstep, they gonna call you. They gonna have to have a one-on-one with you or something stupid. But it's just like, why I feel like it is that they fuck with you a lot, or for the general anybody in this point. Like, if you're in that position where it's like you do everything you're supposed to and everything you can, and it still seem like they fuck with you and they tell you to pick it up more, or they just fucking with you, it's just like, it's because you care and you are receptive to coaching. The people that are not working or don't give a fuck are going to proceed to not care or participate, because they already know that, oh yeah, Sally is gonna do everything. So Sally, for sure, we gonna have to keep her. We got to keep her so that everything can keep rolling. But Paul over there, yeah, man, Paul is just a placeholder. He's not going to be doing shit. And every time we've already told him twice, and we got the impression very clear he's not going to do anything extra. We're not fucking with that guy. So, and the look on her face, she got it, because that's exactly how that shit goes. So these comments right here, they feel that shit 100%.
People are like, yeah, I work hard as I can, and they give me more work. And like me personally, I'm not trying to give off the impression that I need flowers for doing my job. Like, I need a pat on the back. I'm very aware work is work, but like, I don't know, maybe just acknowledge the fact that your job is being done by me, and that,
bro, thank you.
You're getting paid way more than I am, and
thank you. That right there is the part that stick with me too, is because I've been in a similar position as Paul, where it was just like, and the statement I just made a second ago, where it's like, you doing everything you possibly can, if not more than you should, and they still find a way to be like, they'll either not give you. I said you don't have to suck me off. That's what I said. But if I'm out here busting my ass to keep us on track, and then at the end of the day, y'all say we did it. No, I did. Okay. I don't want to, like, you don't have to sit here and glaze and give me flowers like Paulie just said, but it's just like, bro, you're not finna just sit up here and act like I didn't do my job and yours, and then say, good job, team. Like, bro, I gotta get MVP or something. Like, bro, come on. At least give me MVP, but you ain't gotta, like, fucking crowd surf me about it. Just at least acknowledge that I did your job for you. Like, that shit is not right.
You can't even say thank you. It's like, it's so crazy, and it was even crazier to see that I'm not the only one, and that you're getting paid way more than I am, and you can't even say thank you. It's like, it's
See what I mean?
so crazy, and it was even crazier to see that I'm not the only one. It's just happening everywhere, all over the world. The next takeaway that was very obvious, and it's like, when someone leaves one comment, that's one thing, but when you get hundreds of comments of people saying the same thing, it really sticks out, right? So those who are working non-corporate jobs seem to be much happier. And there was even people who were working corporate jobs and then they switched to, more traditional, like more manual jobs. And they were like, I am so much happier, and this makes sense to me because
I feel
when I
that.
was 18, I started working as a doorman in the city. And if I mean, I was going to explain it, but you open doors, it's in the name, right? At these big apartment buildings where,
Before he gets into his example, I could definitely say from working both sides, being in non-office settings, non-corporate settings, it's much better. So definitely a bit different, but I feel like it's much better.
there's like actual billionaires in there. So as you can imagine, that you're not always treated as a human being, and it's definitely not the most glamorous job. It was, you have to take out people's trash. There's dead mice everywhere, and cockroaches, and you're cleaning all the time. It's not
Except for that right there, he can keep the fact. I ain't never had to experience that. Nope.
glamorous by any means, but I was happier there going to work every day as a doorman, getting less money than I was at my office job. And it wasn't even like close. Like, it was like I was noticeably less miserable. And people all over the world, same thing. Like, I've spent a lot of time thinking about
I would say for sure that's one thing that a lot of older people or older generations for that matter don't really understand too. Well, there's different influences here and there about why we think differently than them, but it's like they will really be genuinely confused with you if you don't want to do the job that has the higher pay just off the fact that it pays more. Like, nigga, I don't know, sometimes that's not always what matters, you know what I mean? Like, I want to at least prefer it, because eventually if I get driven to the point where I'm about to say F this place, it's gonna be bad for me regardless. So I might as well just go with the place that I would rather go to, even if I'm getting, like, as long as everything can still be handled accordingly, it shouldn't really matter, honestly. That's, at least it would be beneficial to make more money, but it's not always the end all be all.
this and why this is, and it's because it's not fake. There was nothing fake about having to wake up some drunk guy passed out in front of the building, and tell him like, yo, you got to dip, bro. Or like, your coworkers, there's nothing fake there. It's like you're actually doing something, and you're not constrained to a chair all day staring at a screen. And I'm clearly not the only one who's had that experience. Like, so many comments saying the exact same thing, and I think that's interesting. And it's really unfortunate that these jobs pay way less than these corporate jobs where the majority of people aren't doing anything and aren't contributing. But I think in the future, at least, like, these are the jobs that the jobs that we're talking about here are the ones that can't be replaced by AI in 2 years, right?
Right, they're gonna have to
So
like make some significant advances for sure. Like, you can't. It's hard. It's gonna be hard for AI to replace construction. Like, they're gonna have to. That's gonna be real automated. It's gonna have to go from like replacing the manual. Excuse me, replacing the manual laborers with people who's like controlling the robots or the AI or drones of that's doing it for them, and then from that, then they're gonna have to upgrade on how to fully automate, and that's gonna take way longer than replacing somebody in the office looking at Excel and spreadsheets, because all that shit is keyboard automated. So it's like that can be done today, honestly.
someone's got to open the doors and protect people. Someone's got to take the garbage out. Someone's got to fix the broken pipes. Like, I think we're gonna see in the future a switch to where these jobs are actually gonna pay more, and they should. So I honestly, good, because like I said in my other video, a lot of these jobs are gonna get replaced by AI, because it's not like they care about you anyway, these companies. So if they can replace you and it's cheaper to replace you, your ass is getting replaced. But
Pretty much.
as of now,
And like looking at it from the outside looking in is like, can you really blame them though? Because it's like they don't have to pay AI, they don't have to insure AI. All they have to do is program it and let it rock. They don't have to give them time off. The only thing that they need to do is make sure that the power stays on and that shit is fully functional year round, 24/7. No holidays, none of that shit. So if being in the position of like, oh yeah, I have billions of dollars, but I want more. And how am I gonna do that? It's cut costs by hiring or programming AI to do the job. That's wicked, but it's the angle it looks like they're taking now.
and you're actually doing work, but at least it seems like you're way happier. So I kind of touched on this earlier, but the next takeaway is like our generation values not feeling like shit. I think we have an ability to identify what feels good and what feels like shit. And, in my opinion, it gets labeled as lazy, but it's being awake, one life on earth. You can call me lazy for not wanting to spend it, staring at a screen in an office chair, just wanting to,
Yeah,
not even gonna say
honestly.
and not all boomers think this way, even though most of them do. Like, there was some great comments from older people, and I'm gonna put one up on the screen here. This one was my favorite.
Don't ever delete this video or at least keep lots of copies. Wish I had a video or even audio like this from when I was this age. That would have been about 50 years and it would have been absolutely priceless.
But it's a total shift in just ways of thinking. And I think a big part of it is like our parents, there was no internet, there was no social media. So I feel like when you don't have to watch some TikToker make millions of dollars from little lip syncing videos, it's probably a little bit easier to clock in to the office every day and just not ask any questions, right? Because you're just like, okay, this is supposed to be done.
Exactly, bro. Like I think that's why another thing, like some of my family, or at least the older ones in my family, they don't fully understand the uploading and posting video shit because they're just like, oh, I wouldn't really be fucking with that because to them, you're just making vids. You're just sitting up here talking or like doing something, playing the game, whatever is going on. But like he just said, somebody's making millions on TikTok from lip syncing. They're not even fully singing for real. They're just basically doing like a Snapchat story and posting them every single day. And they're getting paid more than neurosurgeons, nuclear physicists, and other things that almost make me slip up when I pronounce it. It's just like, bro, the possibilities are limitless, dog. You just got to make it happen. But like he said, they don't know any different from that because it's just like you're supposed to go to work. You hit a certain age, it's time to get a job, basically. Now people, you tell somebody to get a job now, they're gonna be like, the fuck. But sometimes you ain't got enough time. But that's
This
another
is how
thing.
I'm supposed to make money. But with the internet, it's like we see how much the world has to offer, but it's a tease. It's like you can't have it, but you can watch it, So then, all of a sudden you start to ask questions. You're like, why are there so many people on the internet that have found so many ways to make money where it's like, why am I doing this? And our parents didn't have, you couldn't make an investment in, the meme coin thing. I'm not going to even point to that, but watching a kid make $1 million, he's like literally 15. Like, it's just a different world, and to pretend like that doesn't have an impact on how we think about going to work every day is just naive in my opinion. And the meme coin thing, I'm not like at all encouraging that, but I'm just saying like there's all these different ways to make money on the internet, and we see it because of social media, that I think that's playing a big part into why this is now seeming so ridiculous, and it didn't before. And kind of going off that, I think there's a general lack of trust now that our parents
there's so much exposure to anything really to keep it from getting too broad, but so much exposure to everything, and we have access to it in our pocket. And you already know we're going to compare based on what we're used to seeing in real life versus what is possible through what we see on the phone. And it's just like, how the fuck do I get there in the best way possible? And it's clearly not going to work and burning up all my hours of life that I got, because who knows how much time you got left anyway. So it's really just a matter of getting to it however we can. But like, dude, sitting in a cubicle, oh no.
the older
No.
generations didn't have. Also because of social media, right? They kind of just did what they were told all the time, and they had no reason to question it. I think it was like a assumption that these big corporations and governments actually cared about you, and you can trust them, and just do what they want you to do, and everything will work out. And I think we keep getting proven over and over now that this isn't the case. This system that we're supposed to just shut up and participate in isn't necessarily.
Like, bro, imagine you have a job for 25 years and you're like, yep, I got 5 more years in this bitch and I'm gonna be good. Now, mind you, 25 years, I was a fucking infant, okay? Now, bro, you get laid off, business cuts, you get laid off, your retirement fund, ashes. That's no, bro. That's not even, and it's like there's no all that hit you with is a shit is ridiculous, bro.
Help us, and I think it's very clear now as opposed to before. And they're also not even trying to hide it. Like JP Morgan, I just saw on the news, is building like $1 billion delivery system so that their 10,000 employees don't have to leave their desks at all throughout the day. They can just order the food, which is insane to me. Because when I was in the office, I didn't work at JP Morgan, but when I was in the office, the highlight of my day would be walking outside and getting lunch, which is
That is
super
insane,
depressing,
bro.
unrelated, but it's like,
You know it's bad when getting away from it. Excuse me, getting away from everybody. Like you ain't even got no cool coworkers or nothing. You said going outside to get my food, get some fresh air was the highlight. That is awful.
the only time I would be out during the day is walking around and eating Chipotle. It was my little.
And bro, corporate, it feels like you're there all day. Like you're there all day, obviously, because you're doing your 8, or if you do OT, then more. But it's just like you feel every minute of being in that office. It's not like you doing, like he said, a real job, because you're busy, you're occupied, you're moving all the time, but you just sitting there like, it's like just disgusting. It doesn't even feel real.
Slither of freedom, right? So now they don't even want you to have that, which is just crazy to me, right? And then I think another big reason that this shift in thinking is happening is because these jobs are not paying enough. Like, how is it that the one constant is wages, right? Everything else has gone up. Cost of living, cost of doing anything, getting on the subway, even like the markets and things, like everything goes up, right? Except for how much you're getting paid. Like, why am I getting paid the same salary that somebody 15 years ago was getting paid when everything is more expensive? And it's I
Wow,
think
that guy
if
is.
we were getting paid more, our tolerance for bullshit would obviously be higher, right? So I think that's.
Yeah, because then you would at least be able to afford to live. Like now, it's just like questionable. Am I gonna be able to live, bro? It's like people got to worry about some of the most crazy things. Like, bro, people are living in sheds and decking them out to look like miniature houses, dog. Like, and they working their ass off to be able to afford that. Can you imagine? Like, but they not raising wages though. Like, something going on here. No, I don't know what kind of conspiracy is going on behind the scenes, but there's something more than what they're telling us. Because it's not like they can't just press the numbers and be like, shit is affordable now. Because they definitely could. It's not gonna hurt them, but it's just that they don't want to at the end of the day, and that shit is ridiculous.
It's playing a big role here as well.
Oh, also, what I was gonna say when I was getting distracted by the gameplay, that guy, whoever he just he tried to hit with the intervention and he had that painkiller show up. Get good, bro. What is wrong with you? Everybody knows that is the unspoken rule that you're not allowed to use painkiller or final stand in any COD game. Like, you come back with extra health, or I dropped you and now you get to drop down and get your get back. Like, no, bro, just respawn and come find me again. You're not doing that.
Regret quitting, and they want to see an update. And I think it's too early to tell. I mean, I could so easily end up back in an office job that I hate, right? Because, at some point, that's just gonna have to be an A or a B, right? But I will say, like, my life, I'm just so much more appreciative of life again, and I've really just been enjoying myself. Like, I understand I'm very blessed, but like I was just in Italy for a week, and it was like the best week of my life, right? And I'm monetized on YouTube now, which is crazy. So that's
Oh,
also just like,
oh yeah, this was also some time ago for sure. Nigga, yeah. You ain't got no work to do, or you're not currently employed. Yeah, best believe it's time to buckle down and just get make sure you put a lot of time into what you are doing. Cause I already know if I wasn't at a job, and this is what I was doing in my spare time while waiting to get an email back, y'all would be seeing me a whole lot on both sides, the reactions and the games. It's the name right there. That you're on Unhinged. That's the one right there. But best believe, bro, on any platform, I just might say fucking and go on fucking Kick. I don't know. I don't know nothing about Kick, but best believe, bro, if I had all the time, I would definitely be
not
there.
something I would have ever imagined. So those are two things alone that have happened since I quit, that at least for now I can say I do not regret my decision at all. Like, not even close. And this video
That's the
could
greatest
age
part.
terribly, right? And I'm aware of that. I'm not, I'm a very realistic person, right? So I'm not, gonna just crumble if that happens, or if, everything goes to zero. Like, you know what I mean? I'm aware. So as of right now, I do not regret quitting. I will say that. And I'll make another follow-up video.
That's the best
Because,
part.
who knows what could happen in a month. And it would be crazy if I went back to an office job and just kept talking about how bad they are. So if that happens, I'll make a video. And who knows what I'm gonna do. But all I can say for now is I definitely don't regret quitting as of February 10th. So yeah, that's it for me. Appreciate you guys. I know we're at 4,000 subscribers now, which is insane. And just the support from all those comments and everything was just crazy. So appreciate every single one of you guys. And
Absolutely, man. And when was this uploaded? He said as of February 10th. Yeah, February 10th, he doesn't regret quitting, bro. And that is all you could ask for, to be 100. He quit his job, shit's working out for him. And he got monetized, and it's been a year since, and he said he's at 4. I think he's at 4K, but now he's at 80, damn near 84. Yeah. Here's another one. Boom. But yeah, man. Let me know anything. Just give me some down below, and I'll make sure I reply, because I always do. But that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate you, Polly, and I'm out of here.